Family dinner. Just me saying those words probably brought a range of emotions and feelings and memories to a bunch of people's minds. I have lots of fond memories. I think when I say family dinner, I think about being at a beach condo with all my cousins and aunts and uncles. I think about being with my grandparents at their house in Indianapolis, or at my parents' house in Iowa, or here in our home that we have now in Hot Springs, Arkansas, with my little kiddos running around. Dinner time can also be stressful though sometimes, especially for the one responsible for planning. Getting something that's nutritious but also practical and something that everyone will eat is really not a simple task. So I would like to share my favorite family dinner with y'all. It's called Javanese dinner. It's something that is nutritious, well balanced, and user-friendly even in a crowd of picky eaters. My favorite family dinner is definitely easy to make, and it's a healthy choice. So here's all my ingredients and necessities for creating this dinner. Obviously I'm at the table here and not the kitchen, so most of the food is pre-prepared, but we'll go over how I prepared it. So we start with rice. Rice is the base of Javanese dinner. Is made sort of like a pile. My parents gave me this recipe from my childhood. They got it from Campus Crusade when they were in college. So it's been around in our family for a long time. Back to the rice. I like to use brown rice, pre-bagged, pre-portioned. You just boil it in the bag, super simple. Use a pan about like this. You can put 2 bags in boiling water, cook it for 12 minutes, and that's about the right portion for our family of 4. And there's also 2 additional bags in each box, so it's a pretty user-friendly option. You can use any rice really, but I would recommend brown rice. It's going to be a lot healthier of an option. According to Chef Sandra Sexton, who is the program director at the Institute of Culinary Education in New York City, she said brown rice is more a healthful choice than white rice. It has lower glycemic index, which means it's less likely to contribute to diabetes, has more macronutrients and more fiber. It also has a better, slightly nuttier and chewier texture. So those reasons. White rice is just a little plain. There's not as much nutritional value in it. It doesn't count as a whole grain. So I go the brown rice way. Our second ingredient is kind of the core ingredient is chicken. So I got chicken right here. I cooked mine in a pan like this. I had just boiled frozen chicken by putting it in a pan like that in the microwave. Takes about 10 to 15 minutes depending on what type of chicken you use. I used frozen chicken strips and just cooked them up. You could also cook chicken in the oven or use a rotisserie chicken from the grocery store. It might save you a few minutes in preparation if you want to go that route. But the major key is that you kind of get something like this, basically chopped or shredded chicken as your ingredient in the end. And you can season it, of course, to your own family's preferences. Another ingredient that we use is cheese. So we use a shredded cheddar cheese. I shredded it off the block, but if you want to buy bagged shredded cheese, and it doesn't have to be cheddar. We've used Colby Jack before. If you put pepper jack in there even, it might be a little spice if your family's into that. That's another way you can just modify this dish just a little bit to suit your family's needs. Then there's fruit and vegetable component. We have broccoli and celery, but you'd kind of chop it up. You'd want smaller pieces like this, and then you could pre-cook them, or you could do it raw, whatever your family's really enjoys. Anything that's kind of a garden vegetable would work the same too. You could use zucchini or anything that you're pulling out of your family's garden this summer. Another common ingredient is shredded pineapple. I actually don't have any because I'm the only member of my family that eats it, but that's something we always added growing up because my mom really liked the shredded pineapple. She would just get it in the can at the grocery store, drain all the juice, and then put it in a bowl just like the rest of these serving bowls. In the end, we're going to serve it buffet style, so this is how I would actually prepare it for our family dinner. I would put all these ingredients in the separate bowls and be able to serve it that way. Another key ingredient is our chow mein noodles. If you haven't had these before, it's really not a lot of a flavor component. It's mostly just for crunch, but I won't eat this dish if we don't have them. I will make a special trip to the store because I really like the crunch that it adds and the texture that it brings to the dish. Last but not least is gravy. Chicken gravy is what we use here. So we just get the jar of chicken gravy, Heinz chicken gravy at the store, and then heat it up. But feel free to make your own gravy if you have more time, or if you really have a favorite recipe. I know that you can make chicken gravy pretty easily using cream of chicken soup, some chicken stock, some seasonings, and put it in a saute pan on the stove and just reduce it down. Reducing it down means just cooking it some to let some of the moisture, the water, escape out of there and make it a little thicker like gravy normally is. So whatever your if you have a favorite gravy, go ahead and use it. But the store-bought gravy in the jar is pretty good. We really like it. Our family really likes it. So all in all, I can kind of summarize our nutritional components here, but it really is a complete, healthy meal, and my kids will eat all of it. But the American Heart Association is one of our leading organizations on daily diet recommendations. They put out some diet recommendations. They break down our food groups into 6 categories that we should be hitting every day. Grains is one of them. Whole grains are better, so the brown rice definitely fits that bill. Meat and poultry is another one of them. The chicken would fall into that category. Those you're wanting 3 to 5 servings a day of just those 2 items. So those are key to hit on when you're adding something. Dairy is a third food group. That one is hit by the cheese. Milk and yogurt and things like that are in that category as well. But I wouldn't recommend dumping milk onto this dish. Vegetables is another category. You're supposed to have 2 to 3 servings of vegetables a day. This is a great way to sneak some vegetables in. My kids don't really care for broccoli sitting plain on a plate, but if you get these little pieces and mix them in with the gravy and the chicken and rice and everything else, they'll eat them down without hardly even noticing that they're there. The shredded pineapple, eliminated by my family, but they eat plenty of fruit, so it's okay. Fruit is the 5th component, so that would be the 5th food group. That's another 2 to 3 servings a day. If you had pineapple in there, then that would hit your fruit category. Otherwise, you can maybe get fruit elsewhere. My kids do eat fruit, but they just don't like this particular kind of fruit. They're actually crazy about apples normally, so we drink a lot of apple juice and eat a lot of apples. The 6th food group is fats and oils. And gravy is actually a pretty good fat and oil. I know a lot of people normally avoid fats and oils, and the truth is we need some of it to keep our bodies functioning properly, according to the American Heart Association. So adding a little bit, the key is to just not use too much of those. It is the highest calorie item in this dish, so you want to use your gravy sparingly, but feel free to use it. What we would do when we actually sit down here for our family dinner is I would take my plate, and we like to serve it up buffet style. It's a great way. Like I said before, I'm actually going to just do this the other way. That'll be easier to scoop some rice out straight onto my plate like that. But we always do this on our vacations too. Set it out on a bar top if you need to, or you can bring all the ingredients to your table. But just serve them just like this and let people build their own mountain with whatever ingredients they want in whatever order they want. I recommend gravy on top. It's a little weird if you put the gravy on the bottom, but it's okay. I won't judge you. Cheese. Cheese is an excellent ingredient here. I'm going to skip the vegetables despite the American Heart Association telling me not to. And go straight to my crunchies. I love these things. And then finish it off with gravy. But one thing that's really great about this dish is that you really can Even serve it in a group that you don't know what they like and what they don't like, because if people kind of get to build their own plates, then they're going to get to put on there exactly what they want to put on there, and they can skip the others. For the kiddos, maybe you can mandate some certain ingredients if they need to sneak in their nutrition. And then you end up with something like this. I can't wait to eat that. I'm really looking forward to that. This is also an excellent dish for like a dinner party, because a lot of times we have a hard time knowing what should we bring to a dinner party. But if you're in this situation, just have everybody bring one ingredient. It makes it a lot simpler. So all in all, I'm glad I got to share this family dinner with you. It's been a real treat. This is a great, nutritious, healthy option to keep in mind. And I hope that you guys have a great time at your next family dinner making memories. Thanks.